All right, and we are live. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen across the world. Hope you are well. Welcome back to my shop. Today in the shop, I've got a special guest, and it's James Long, all the way over from Oregon in research. Boring Oregon. Boring Oregon. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, Oregon's not boring, by the way, but it's boring Oregon. And,
yes.
In the USA, and I believe, correct my geology if I'm wrong, James, you're on the East Coast. Yeah, are you down from Portland or up from Portland?
We're between Mount Hood and Portland, so we are to the east of Portland, about 20 miles.
Okay, beautiful. Oh, nice.
And our sister cities are Dull, Scotland, and Bland, Australia. So.
Oh, I didn't know that. In Bland,
Australia. Yeah, it's our sister city.
I wouldn't even know where that is, buddy.
We have a yearly celebration with them, actually.
So, okay, I'll have to look into that.
Mediocrity. It's impressive.
Oh, awesome. Well, look, we've got a few. Just jumped straight into the chat there,
sure.
James. So I just want to welcome. We've got Guy from Top Tool. Hey, Guy. I've got my daughter Emily Louise down the bottom there. Hey, Dad. I've got Everett from Everett's Workshop. Hey, Everett. Thank you for joining in. And we've got Peter from Weld Machine. Peter's another fellow Aussie. And Emily, you should be asleep, my daughter, because you're on night shift at the moment. And Em's a cop, so she's working pretty hard.
Well,
so anyway,
thank you for her service.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly. So Everett, if people are wondering what James actually does in his shop, James makes these things here. All right. So this is a spindle tramming tool, and these are made entirely in his shop. Okay, on an all CNC machine. It's really nice. What I particularly like about it, James, is the brush finish on the front here.
Oh yeah,
it's like a brush finish. You're gonna have to share that off camera with me how you did that. That's really nice. Now,
pixie dust.
Now I'm not here to sell anything, guys. This is not it. I just want to give you an idea of what James builds. Now, I've got a similar one which I bought from Edge Technology many years ago for my little CNC router. Now, the reason I like James, and this, I'm not being a salesman here, the reason I like this one over, because James actually, you can adjust it to go to a smaller sweeping arc or a circle or a larger arc. And as you know, the larger you get, the more accuracy you get, more fine tuning, since I believe. But tell us a little bit about this, James, if you don't mind. How did you think it up?
Sure. It started because I broke a competitor's tool. I'm not going to say whose it was. No. I had a Wells Index mill at the time, big old beast of a machine, right? I think that, as a knee mill, it weighed like over 3,000 pounds, just a beast. And I was tilting you're correcting the head after I'd had a bevel on it. And I didn't realize that one of the teeth was chipped. And so she let loose on me and just completely annihilated the dial indicator.
Okay.
It exploded. And, so I contacted the company, and they were very good about it. It took about 3 weeks to get a replacement for it, and they were very good. Great American service. But it got me thinking, like, there's got to be a better way.
Absolutely.
And so I invented my own kind of version of it, where basically in that case, if that was to happen, likely the indicator should actually slip out from behind the brass screw, right, or the aluminum screw in those cases. And and also, if you were to do that, you can go down to your local Harbor Freight, or I guess in your case, what is it, Princess Auto or something, whatever it is, Australian, and pick up a set of indicators and just get back up and running again, if you had to. So that was kind of the idea, and it seems to have taken off. I think yourself, Keith, Rucker, Randy, Richard have all had positive reviews.
And absolutely,
And we've had a good, set of, we've done kind of a line of those since, so there's one for the desktop, and also one's in metric and one in standard. So.
Yep. What's the other type? What's standard?
Standard has got a 1/2-inch shank and uses standard indicators. So
I'm being a smart ass, James, because
I was trying to be polite and accept.
So I've got Guy sitting here from Top Tool, and I haven't seen Kevin yet from Mechanical Advantage, but those two have always hanging shit on me about using metric, and they call it communist units. But anyway, we won't go there. Yeah, I won't get into that today. They reckon the USA is propping up an entire measurement system.
You know, it's interesting actually watching it. I get a lot more orders than I expect for metric in the US.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually kind of surprising. And the other way is true, where I get a lot of standard orders in England and Australia and New Zealand, because a lot of them use American-based tooling.
Oh, beautiful.
So it's kind of an interesting mix, actually, even across the globe.
It really has. So tell us, so you got some photos you want to share of your shop, I believe.
Yeah, sure, I can share some photos.
Okay, I'll add it to the stream, and because I know the guys sitting in here, Everett, Peter, and the boys, they're lovely to see it. The guys got put in there, I'm slowly converting to metric. Yeah, I believe that when I see it.
So let's see here. I'll just give you an idea of what I started with.
Yep.
So this is inner property out here in Oregon, a couple of acres out here. And this is the little shop, and moved in and discovered that they never permitted the structure when they built it. And so needless to say, she got torn down. Oh. And so then we put in a 2,000 square foot new shop, had that built out. And beautiful. So in my little paradise, you know.
Absolutely.
And so that got built out. And here you can see the interior framing and all the work getting put in. Oh, my little Ford, American tractor.
Yeah, yeah, I like the bucket. Yep.
And then the shop build being going in. So all the drywall and me getting the official credentials from our local county saying that I'm, certified to take occupancy. And then here's the shop, right? So we got a little air compressor room with a three-phase generator, three-phase converter. It's about, I think, a 30 horse. I don't have a good heads up of the machines, but this is a Miltronics. I think it's circa 2010-ish, MM18. So it's about 12 horsepower spindle. In the back here is a Cavalier. And that machine's great because it's box weighs. So that thing's a tank. Right, that's what I do a lot of prototyping on. And on the side is an Omni-turn lathe, CNC lathe.
Yep.
And here's my 1640 Precision Matthews lathe.
Beautiful.
And then this is the first run of spindle squares that were manufactured. Pardon me, nothing was completely set up. This is the first one, obviously.
Yep.
And then this is just, layout of the shop. And this is my old laser cutter back in the day. I think Mike actually has this one now. So.
Oh, did Mike buy a similar one? Did he?
Well, we did a tradesies. So I got his 80 watt that he acquired and got it running, and then he needed something smaller for his space, and I was like, I got the 300 watt. I mean, the 30 or 40 watt. And he's like, I'll take it, and so we kind of worked it out.
Right.
So, and then you can kind of get an idea of the space and what this looks like. And just a little shop made table here that's on wheels and easy to move around. And, Hoist heavy vise for beating on stuff. And then the office. Oh, and some of you guys might appreciate, this is the auto lift going in 10,000 pound rating. That's my Cavalier, my Coval surface grinder. So that's obviously a dusty unit, so that stays outside of the machine shop. And here's a project car that's on the lift. So so that's the primary equipment that I use. So
that is awesome, mate. Hang on, I'll exit the full screen. Let me just remove that. There we go, and get you back. All right, mate. That's a very, very nice shop, James.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm very jealous, mate. I'm sitting here in a little pokey 2-car garage. Even Everett's picked up on it, and a guy from Top Tool as well. They both of them said very nice, beautiful shop.
Well, thanks.
I love the vehicle hoist. We'd say car over here, but I think you'd call what do you refer? I think you say vehicle, don't you?
I just refer to them as an auto hoist, but yeah, it just makes life a lot easier. So what did it is, if you've heard that Harbor Freight had those recalls on those jack stands, that would just fail.
Yes, I saw that. Yep.
Well, so my wife and my father caught a hold of that, and they came together and were just like, we bought you a lift, go get it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And is it single? You got 3-phase in your shop, or are you running a rotary phase?
I got a 200 amp single phase, and I got a rotary phase converter about 30 horsepower.
Oh, beautiful. A big one.
Yeah. So that, and I bought the kit and then just picked up an industrial 30 horsepower motor. And it doesn't seem to have an issue running multiple machines at a time. So the Miltronics has a 12 horsepower spindle.
Yep.
And 18. I think it's a 16 or an 18 tool changer, and each drive is about 1.5 horses. And it has no problem cranking that thing over. So
okay. Well, you just by the way, so Tom's just dropped in, ladies and gentlemen. So Tom from Hilltop Machine Works. Hi, Tom, and welcome. And Everett was saying, had he have a higher ceiling height, he would have put a hoist as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was kind of the question. And actually, the concrete there is, I got lucky and they screwed up when they dug out the area for the concrete and ended up having to bring in an extra truck. But I got 8 inches of high tensile strength reinforced concrete underneath that section when it was supposed to only be 6. So I was quite thrilled.
Absolutely. Oh, that's much better. Much stronger base. For lifting. And what's the weight of the hoist? What will it lift? Will it lift like a F truck or something like that? Or?
They claim 10,000 pounds. I have yet to push it over. I think my truck is, I want to say 5,600 pounds. Right. I apologize. I don't know the kilogram translation there.
Okay, so 10,000 pounds. Hang on. 10,000 pounds to kilograms. Equals good old Google search. Yeah, it's claiming to be 4.5 ton.
Yeah,
4,500 kilograms. Wow, that's heavy. That's heavy duty. I didn't think it'd be that strong. Okay, but you reckon
I would try pushing it that hard. So it's probably would do a 3/4 ton truck easy enough. So. Yep. But I wanted something that was, that's got the surprisingly nice thing about a lift too is you can back your trailer or your bed or your truck into it and then use it to push stuff off.
Exactly.
And that's immensely useful.
And me being an old grease monkey, we used to do that as well. We'd open one arm and pull a motor out with it. Use it as a lifting arm or an engine crane.
Yeah.
We got Peter.
Smart, right?
Exactly. So just welcome Peter from PGS channel. Hi, Peter. Thanks, mate. Yep. Their hoists are relatively cheap. They are, mate. You can pick them up for about, I think, 2,000 Australian dollars.
Yeah, I got a deal on mine. I think it came out to about $1,600 or $1,700, and I had to pick it up from port. But
that's not too bad.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad at all. And then you got to do the install and stuff, but that's just measuring and shimming.
Yep. So Rico's just popped in as well. G'day, Rico. Hi, mate. Welcome. Rico had his own shop as well back in the day, a full machine shop, and he's in semi-retirement these days, he told me, and just kick him back. And feel free to add in the chat there, Rico, what you're doing these days. So James, you told me just off camera before that your CNC is a Miltronic. Now, I'd never heard of them before, but you've just educated me. You've taken me to school, and you told me they're actually made in the USA. And make their own controllers.
I'm going to have to look them up. I thought it was Minnesota they were out of, or Wisconsin. They're somewhere in the Midwest. They're a U.S.-based manufacturer. Yep. I would put them on par, if not higher, than Hoist. They have their own dedicated controller, linear ways, all Japanese motor controllers and servo drivers. It's pretty decent stuff. The only issues I've had, I got mine secondhand from I'll give you some dimension. Like I said, it was a 12 horsepower. I think it's got a 36 inches by 20 some travel and then like 20 some in the head. And they were making molds with it they were like a rubber injection plant. And they upgraded to a 5th axis Miltronics. But we did a barbell test on the thing when and it was holding within 0.2 of a thou accuracy, which was, I think it was just under, it was like 0.00019 or something ridiculous.
Wow.
So, and yeah, it was still holding basically manufacturer specs when I picked it up.
That's pretty. Yep.
The only issues I've had with it have been things like air hoses. So it's just
really?
over time, the air hoses deteriorate. So I had to go through the old machine and upgrade those. But
yep. So they just degrade, the airlines degrade over time and they just clap out, do they?
Yeah, basically. But yeah, I would recommend them to anybody. They're still US based, so you can call them up and get a lot of the equipment. And it's pretty replaceable. So, I mean, it's linear ways, right? So you can put in new ball screws or linear ways if you need to.
Exactly. All right, we got Doug just popped in from Metalworks Machine Shop. G'day, Doug. Welcome. Rico said in there, James, that he loved the Haas and he had an old, the Haas of old. Sorry, I'll bring up his comment. Loved the Haas of old and the Fidel CNC 88, even with the Fanic controls.
Oh, you can't go wrong with that.
No, that's right. Now, I've seen a few Fidels over here. In my time, I don't think I've seen one like yours though. I'm going to snoop around a little bit now that I've learned about them, and I had no idea. We've got earlier on in the chat there, I was talking about Peter from the Weld Machine, and Peter, if you go to his channel, he's been rebuilding a Mazak.
Nice.
Mazak, I think you pronounce it differently to me. A CNC lathe, and he's done a brilliant job on it. He calls it the Mazak Mission. So. And it's a mission, let me tell you. He's really
some of that older equipment to bring it up. And the thing is, though, like the bones are always solid in those machines.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
And so if you can rebuild it or modernize the electronics, that's usually what lets you down, at least in my experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. See, and that's electronics is not a lot of people's strong points either, James. If they have an issue with an electrical issue with the controller or inside the C machine, they usually... That's where you come unstuck, or it's a programming issue. You've got to get in contact with a technician that can work their way around it.
Yeah, it can get bad. And so when there's a lot to be said for rebuilding a classic machine like that with good bones. And if you know the electronics that are going into it, then you're, 2 steps ahead. I don't blame folks for doing that.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Now, what current... have you got any other product range you're thinking of adding to your collection at the moment or not?
Yeah, there's a couple other products that are in development right now. I'm just kind of tempted actually just to send you a couple of beta units that I should have in the next month or so. So
yeah,
maybe that would be easier, right? And you can give me your impressions on it.
Whatever. I'm not asking for free stuff, but
no, I'm asking you for free feedback.
If it turns up, it turns up. Exactly, buddy. But look, what we all got to understand at the moment. And I watched I think the channel's called the Recreational Machiners, and he put a video up last night on YouTube. I think it was a shop owner that he interviewed, and he was saying that the cost of materials have just gone through the roof.
It's insane. It's insane. Aluminum and brass and steel. I can't even. I mean, aluminum's doubled for me in the last year. Brass has probably gone up about 30% as an end supply. And then the other thing that gets you, and I don't know if you guys experience this, there's anything that's offshore, right, or that's non-commodity or anything you got to import into the country has just skyrocketed. Yep. The dial indicators that I use, like I said, I've always said I'd love to get American ones, but they just don't exist.
Yeah.
They've gone up 60% in 1 year on me. And that's just because I sit in a boat outside of Los Angeles in a shipping backup.
Yeah.
So,
well, even those indicators you use, they're very smooth. They're not notchy.
Oh yeah, they're nice indicators. They're not bottom tier by any means. No. It's just sometimes you like to represent the country you come from, and it's just unfortunately there's not much choice in that matter. So
it is. Well, imagine putting a Mitutoyo dial gauge in or a Starrett.
And that's why we sell them as bare tools, right?
That's right.
We've seen people that stick to the high-end Mitutoyos in there and go to town, and I'm just like, any kind of warmth next to that thing is probably causing more degradation than temperature change. So
yeah. Now we've got a few stragglers popped in. Bill's just come in here. Bill Baggins from Tassie. G'day, Bill. We got Peter jumped in there and he's put here Miltronics are fairly new to Australia, but there is an agent in Brisbane that now sells.
Really? Wow.
So thanks for that, Peter. I didn't know that. And Everett, don't worry, buddy. You don't have to have a CNC machine to stay into this conversation, mate. This is Aaron Engineering, and I predominantly talk about manual machining, but I wanted to bring James in today. What's he getting? He's getting something in the background here. I wanted to bring James in to give him to showcase what he does and what he makes out in his shop.
I mean, we didn't really do an introduction to me and the shop and stuff, right? But
exactly.
Boring Research, basically, we do a little bit of R&D on the side, right, for different products, and honestly, it keeps skills fresh. And then on the side, we produce some machinist tools as well to keep the machines warm. So we're always prototyping stuff. So there's nothing wrong with a 3D printer. I mean, these are just some examples of prototype parts that were done on resin printers. And of course, I have this is an oil can that's under development that I still haven't gotten worked out.
Okay.
And then this is resin-based 3D printer. So this is a grip.
Very nice.
What's that off?
Sorry to interrupt, James. What's that grip off?
I think it's off of a Ruger 1022 or a AR-15 or something like that. So
okay.
I think it came from I just like it was an interesting part to print without supports to see how it would do. Yep. So I don't know. It's a gun part, I think.
I know. We Australians have had their guns taken off them, mate. I'm being cheeky. I'm being cheeky for the audience.
Most of the world's that way. So I'm not trying to, everybody's got different political perspectives when it comes to that kind of thing.
Absolutely. And I'll tell everyone a funny story real quickly here. Okay. There's a certain person in the chat. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want to give too much away. And he's a good mate of mine. And, before his job now, he used to be a police officer. And when he found out my daughter's a police officer, he going, now, Aaron, you got to tell Emily to go down to the range and shoot, even go home after work, take the gun down to the range. I said, she can't do that, guy. She can't do that, mate. He goes, why not? I said, she's not allowed to take the gun home. The police gun stays at the police station. It's got to go back in the safe at the end of the night, and they go home unarmed. He goes, what? You're crazy, So anyway, true story. All righty. So now we got things. It's a funny story. We got a question from Rico. Rico wants to know, where does James live? So he lives in Boring, Oregon, right? Up there, not far from Portland in the USA, Rico.
You notice the plaid. This is the local outfit for the Portlandiers and the beard.
Righto. Well, this will make you laugh. So James also knows Mike from Blue Hands Video. And I speak about Mike a lot on this channel from time to time because him and I are like two peas in the pod. And I'm in the car driving. This is how dumb I am. I'm in the car driving with Mike, and we go past a place called Chinook, I think it was. Is it Chinook over there? I said, is that where they make Chinook helicopters, mate? He goes, no, you idiot. It's just an Indian name or some name like that. I can't remember now. So a Chinook helicopter, the big Boeing helicopter with the twin blades. Yeah. Anyway, I thought it was funny. My daughter has responded. She goes, I don't need practice. I had plenty with you growing up battling each other with Nerf guns. There we go. I believe I probably shouldn't say too much, but when Emily was in training, she was doing headshots and she got in trouble for doing headshots. Anyway,
no, there's nothing wrong with that. My son has plenty of Nerf guns, and we get into quite a few battles these days, and lightsabers. He's big into lightsabers.
Oh yeah, they're the old Star Wars lightsaber.
Oh yeah. So, no, I understand.
No, that's all good. Now, what sort of manual machining do you do in your shop, James?
It's usually just prototyping for different projects. So the lathe, I don't know, it kind of becomes like a extension of your digits over time, right? So I love doing manual lathe work. I'm trying to think of some, I guess one of the more recent interesting projects that was like an R&D project that was on the side is that I made a set of adapters to convert a supercharger that goes on an old Cadillac and got it working so it works on Chrysler Hemi engines. Right. So that was kind of an interesting project to get that working. So there's a lot of manual machining, and eventually getting CNC'd up and got it working. Unfortunately, the deal kind of fell through on it, but so now I got like a 550 horsepower car sitting in the driveway.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, it's well, tires don't last long, and it's kind of expensive on gas these days.
Well, to give you an idea, James, gas prices here in Australia, so we call gas petrol or petroleum over here. If we compare it, so it's currently $2.20 something a litre. Now to US gallon is $6, nearly $6.39 a gallon. That's what we are paying at the moment. And diesel's even dearer at the moment.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just missed that, mate. Top Tool wants to know which Precision Matthews lathe do you have again? Sorry.
I got a 1640. It's the, I wish it was the Taiwanese one, but it's one of the Chinese ones that were imported. It came with a DRO pre-installed, and I think it's a 3 or 4 horsepower motor.
Yep.
So, I mean, to be completely honest, it's a little rough around the edges, but she's done everything I've asked her to do. And that includes cutting a lot of, pre-hardened 4140.
Yep.
Quite a bit, actually. So she holds her tolerances, and I can't complain.
Well, Peter here. So Peter here from Weld Machine has he's got a Taiwanese lathe, I believe, in his shop. And he does some really accurate work on his, not a problem at all. Lots of 4140 stuff and turns some really nice shafts and threads on it. He probably shows more of that on his Instagram channel, which I'll come to now. So Rico wants to know your YouTube channel. So Rico, in the bottom of the description area of this video, I've provided links, 3 links, one to James's website. The other link is to James's YouTube channel, which he hasn't got much on, and also to his, I think I put the Instagram platform on there as well, didn't I? Yeah. So guys, I encourage all of you to check out other creators that I bring in also, to check out their Instagram platform as well. I know it's a little bit touchy. Some people don't like Instagram because Facebook owns it, but I think today, James, in business, I think you nearly got to have Instagram to help promote your business.
Yeah, it's surprising the number of contacts and stuff that come from Instagram and Facebook.
Yep.
So I probably should do more on YouTube, but to be completely honest, I'm probably not the best showsman, such as yourself and some others. So,
well, not everyone can have a body like mine, James. Like look at me. Christ, I don't need to wear bikinis on YouTube to get the viewers, because they just don't watch me anyway. So
no. I mean, there's just so many people out there that I've met and talked to over the years that are, have these wonderful, this wonderful ability to teach others and share what they're doing on YouTube. And I mean, I know I've benefited immensely from it over the years. So I'm super thankful for channels such as yours.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you, James. We got Maddie's just joined us from Maddie's workshop. G'day, Maddie. Welcome. Maddie's a little bit late. If you don't know Maddie's another manual machinist over here in Australia. Sorry, I'm bloody late. All good. All good.
From Australia.
All good, Maddie. Hey, Maddie, are you late because you're cooking up Chico rolls or what? Why are you late? Come on. Okay. My lathe is currently being used by an extension cord from Bill Baggins. All right. So what else we got here? Hey, Maddie, Maddie rocks. There we go. All righty. So, mate, it's been really good having you on the live stream today, James. I've learned a lot from you, to be honest with you.
Cheers.
Of your background, mate. First of all, I think I'm going to show your shed one more time for a few people that just came late.
My shed. Right.
Yeah. Well, sorry, your shop, I should say.
No. It just cracks me up because I had that happen once when I was sharing my shed, and and it caught me off guard when an Aussie said shed, and I'm like, shed? It's a little bit bigger than.
Sorry, that's what we refer to any workshop as a shed, and a shed's not like a garden shed. I know. Can you bring up a photo of the outside of your shed again, of your shop, mate? Sorry. Where we got this big, there we go. Have a look at this, ladies and gents. Have a look at this, mate. That is a monster. How many? What's that in feet again, James?
I think it's 2,000 square feet, but I have 18-inch ceilings. I mean, 18 feet ceilings. So there's room to go up. So, and about half of it right now is lofted. So
okay, bloody beautiful. Give me one sec. My daughter's texting me. All right, I'll get back out of that there. Give me one sec. Remove. There we go. Come back in here. Well, that's pretty much it, James. That's our 30-minute time slot up and done. And once again, ladies and gents, if you just joined late, that's what James makes over in Boring Research, the Spindle trams. I like it. This is not a promotional video. I'm not trying to sell it to you. James didn't ask me to do that. I did it because I wanted to, because I like to help support other creators. All right.
Appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you. All right. Well, look, we'll you hang on for a minute here, James. I'll end the live stream, and then we'll have a little bit of a chat off camera. Does anybody want to ask a quick question before we go in the chat section? So Top Tool said, beautiful shop. I think I have shop envy now. Don't worry, Top Tool. We need to get you on this channel as soon as you get Wi-Fi out in your shop. So Top Tool's recently relocated to I think it's called God's Country, which is Texas.
Okay.
That's my joke. Anyway, so he's got a beautiful shop out there, and I discussed this last week. But he's spending too much money on his wife's swimming pool, James. He's making this big swimming pool.
Oh,
and I said, you need to pull back there. Then I thought, no, keep going with the swimming pool because she'll invite her friends around with bikinis on or something like that. Anyway.
I'm going to leave that alone.
All righty. All right. Well, look, thanks, everyone. We'll end the live stream there. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget, next week on the channel, I'm doing Steve from Shark River Machine Shop, okay? So Steve, Shark River Machine, great guy, got a lovely temperament about him, and I look forward for you guys coming over next week, which is Wednesday. I'm sorry about the daylight savings time in the USA now. It's making it an hour later, so I do apologize. But I just finished work. It's about lunchtime here, and I race home to get on this live stream. So thanks, everyone. Thank you, James. Yep.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys. See you next week. Bye-bye.